Today, we're testing the weirdest discs we could find, and looking back at a few weird ones we've already thrown, like this one, the Doomsday landmine.
Is this an ice cream lid?
But it doesn't fly like an ice cream lid. It actually flies pretty well. While still overstable, it might even be useful. Dare I say, you could even forehand it if you wanted to. Some of these discs are so weird, they're dangerous. Now, we've discovered a lot of weird discs over the last year and a half, because, in case you haven't already noticed, we post a new video every Thursday. And to do that, lots of ideas need pitched, and discs need to be thrown. But not every disc that we've tested has made the cut. Some just didn't fly quite right for us. Others made Caleb mad. Take any rubber disc, for example.
There's no way. What the? Oh no. Oh!
But sometimes, if you try hard enough, you might just find out that these weird discs can be useful after all. Which begs the question, is it the disc that's weird, or is it just that we don't know how to throw it yet? We'll find out more about those rubber discs a bit later. But for now, a great disc to get this point across is the Lone Star Bull Snake. Rated at 3204, at first glance, it looks like your average overstable putter. But look closer, and you'll find that in this Victor 2 plastic, it's extremely grippy. And it is so thick and deep compared to most other putt and approach discs that Caleb kind of struggled to get a clean release off the tee. But when he backed down on that power and used it for more of a casual approach shot, it was excellent. Now, when it comes to weird discs, disc golf has produced more than a few, like the Turbo Putt, with grooves along the outer edge for your fingers to perfectly throw that Johnny McRae signature style turbo putt. Or maybe the Ching Juju that Scott Stokely has brought back into production, which has something called accelerator contours on the top. And there is no company better at pumping out weird discs than Doomsday. Let me show you what I mean. This is a T-Bird, rated at 7502. And this is the Bunker Buster. The Bunker Buster is an extra wide diameter disc, which you might think isn't legal for PDGA sanctioned play. For any disc to be in compliance with PDGA specifications, it has to have a rim diameter to weight ratio of 8.3 grams per centimeter. It also cannot weigh more than 200 grams. And there's also a bunch of other stuff in the technical standards. If you want to know more, you can find it on the PDGA's website. But some quick math, 197 grams for this Bunker Buster divided by 24 centimeters of total diameter is 8.2 grams, meaning that, yes, this Bunker Buster is PDGA approved. And of course, they also submitted it, and it says on the website that it's been approved. Now, obviously, it helps to know that a disc is legal, even if it is a bit weird, but you probably also want to know more like how it flies before you buy one. But before we see how it flies, Caleb is looking a bit different this week, and that's because he's wearing our brand new 2024 jersey, Violetta. We are so excited with how this year's jersey turned out. Huge shout out to Diameter Apparel for making these for us. The design features our logo on the front, our name across the back, and of course our home state of Ohio on the sleeve, with a vibrant mix of purples, geometric elements, and beautiful outdoor landscapes that perfectly capture where disc golf and six-sided discs meet. Our Violetta jersey comes in sizes ranging from small to 3X in a stretchy, moisture-wicking material. You can get yours now at sixsideddiscs.com or at the link in the video description. Now, back to the Bunker Buster. On backhand, Caleb gets a super smooth flight, pushing straight before a moderate fade. On forehand, amazing myself perhaps more than anyone else, it also came out super clean, getting, once again, a nice, slightly overstable flight. There's no doubt that the Bunker Buster is weird, call it unique if you prefer, but it's also amazingly good at what it does. And there are some unexpected benefits from it as well. Weighing in at 197 grams, you can lean on the Bunker Buster in windier conditions, because that weight combined with its stability makes it great at fighting the wind. So a far more useful disc than I would have expected for something so unusual. But what about another wide diameter disc? The Lone Star Superdillo. The Superdillo is the supersized version of Lone Star's popular one-speed putt and approach disc, the Armadillo. While the Armadillo is slightly overstable, rated at 1201, the Superdillo is super in two ways, both in name and in understability. It's a pretty weird disc. Thrown on a hyzer, it almost immediately flips over and turns, creating, honestly, a pretty unique shot shape. So these discs might be able to create some certain shot shapes really well, but the big question is whether you're ready to make some big room for these big discs in your bag. Perhaps it would be easier to make room for a standard diameter, low-speed disc like this one, the Doomsday Landmine. Doomsday has gone all out on the Landmine, not just in the radically simplistic design, but also in essentially making an entire family of discs like it, alongside the depth charge and their new proximity mine. The Landmine is typically available in their base weapons-grade plastic, which is a tacky, stiff base blend, while the depth charge is a rubbery, flexible blend called Collapse. Finally, the proximity mine is available in a premium translucent metal flake blend that we have here called Clandestine. Now the flight numbers don't change too much here. The Landmine is rated at 2202, the depth charge at 2201, and the proximity mine at 2301.5. But just because they look like
an ice cream lid
doesn't mean they fly like one. The depth charge is a touch more overstable, perhaps because it's in that premium plastic. But the proximity mine definitely didn't meet expectations for us, showing us maybe the weirdest way to be an understable putter. It just turned over every time Caleb threw it. So whether you find the Landmine, depth charge, or proximity mine useful probably comes down to whether you can get over just how weird they are. But a disc we threw not that long ago that's both slow and pretty weird is the Loft Neon. Part Castoplast Berg, part Westside Harp, and part Puddletop Zone, the Neon is a bizarre new approach disc from Luft Discs. Oh, and don't call it a Puddletop, because it is in fact a reverse dome. Launched in their latest Kickstarter, the Neon is rated at 3103 and just doesn't fly like any other disc on the market. On hyzer, it's plenty overstable and it can get some good ground play. Thrown flat, it's very overstable. Nothing super weird there. But where the Neon gets weird is when you rip it out on anhyzer. If you really pump it out on a steep anhyzer angle, it looks at first like it's going to slowly work out and fade left like any other overstable disc. But instead, it slows itself down so fast that it can't fade left. Instead, it literally falls straight down out of the air. The only thing that I've ever seen come close to this is the Castoplast Berg, where a disc has such low glide that it essentially can't stay aloft anymore and just falls down out of the air. So the Neon has its own special weird way of flying and definitely deserves a mention as a truly weird disc. But now for something completely different. Some floppy rubber discs. Now, we've explored rubber discs on our channel a few times, and to be honest, I don't think we've ever really done them justice, because for reasons I can't entirely explain, Caleb and I are not very good at throwing them. Now, what is it that actually makes these so much harder for us to throw? I'm not sure. Maybe it's how flexible they are. Maybe we're gripping them too hard. I don't know. I just don't. However, I happen to know for a fact that some people are capable of throwing them, such as Elevation Discs owner Austin Minocci right here. Or one of our subscribers, Garrison. Garrison's 27, been playing for about 8 months, and shows us here that it's not all about power, experience, or rating, because if you have the right technique, you can get some smooth 250-foot shots from the banks. One of our Patreon supporters, Jim from Louisiana, gets a smooth turn from his elevation banks, while Aliot from Iceland is throwing a bunch of elevation discs like the Koi, the Binks, and their latest distance driver, the Psychic. And obviously, they're all flying well for them. So thank you so much to all three of you for sending in those clips to include. And if you'd like to be included in a future video on our channel, Just follow us on social media or our YouTube community posts, or join us over on our Discord server where we put out requests for these types of clips every few weeks. Just over the course of making this video, I think I might have figured out how to throw one of Elevation's discs, the Koi, because when I finally got the grip, power, and release angle just right, I got a great flight. Now, we've had some pretty bizarre discs in our videos, but nothing that I would call unusable. But prepare yourselves, because Doomsday just has a way of doing things differently. So imagine that you got yourself a Discmania tilt. You throw it, it's insanely overstable, as we all know. And then you say, you know what? What if it were faster, flatter, and in a much stickier plastic? Yeah, the disc golf world definitely needs that. And here it is, the Apocalypse. And the Apocalypse is just insane. It's rated at 13,116, meaning that it shares all the same flight numbers as a tilt, except it's supposedly 4 faster. It might even have like a faint puddle top to it. And in this shockwave plastic, it's super sticky and tacky. Now, most of the time when we go out to test discs, I ask Caleb to try and throw them all kind of the same way so that we can see how they fly compared to each other, right? Take some of the variables out of that. But when I told him the flight numbers of the Apocalypse, he insisted on throwing it like this. And even on this huge Anheuser angle, this thing is just crazy. Now, I threw a shot with the tilt a couple years ago. It's one of the most interesting shots I think I've ever thrown. Unfortunately, I don't have video of it, but I threw a thumber of it on a vertical angle, and the stability of the tilt basically kept it perfectly vertical for the entire flight. And it came down and hit the ground and rolled and curled up. And I think I even had like a birdie look. I don't remember if it was a tournament or what. So I thought maybe I'll try that with the Apocalypse.
What happened? Where'd it go?
And maybe that was a mistake. I don't know. And I guess that wasn't a very good idea. But then we remembered that the tilt actually flies further when you throw it upside down. So I asked Caleb if he would throw it upside down. And perhaps that was also a mistake, because it'll try and take your finger off. So imagine for a second that you're a 9-year-old and you just watched 2 full-grown men get taken down by one disc. You of course think to yourself, oh, I'm sure I can throw it, right? But no, the Apocalypse claims a third victim. I don't really know what else to say about the Apocalypse other than that it's kind of crazy, nuts. I don't know. So if you want to try and throw it and you feel like you need this kind of overstability in your life, you know, just, I don't know, maybe it should come with a warning label. But Doomsday's not done there, because they have just one more crazy, weird disc that you have to see to believe. This is the Weapon of Maximum Distance, or WMD. Now, we threw this last year when we explored Doomsday for the first time, but we now have it in a premium plastic. It was like a hard base plastic before, and it is bizarre. It's a 195 gram, 15-speed driver, rated at 15.3, -2.2. And boy, does it go far. Caleb put a little bit too much heat on it, and it effortlessly turned over. But on this shot right here is the most effortless 400 feet that you have ever seen. There's just one problem. The WMD is not PDGA approved, nor will it be. So for now, you'll have to save it for unsanctioned events and casual rounds with your friends. But if you do want one, this one that we threw, along with a few others, will be available on our website at sixsideddiscs.com, where you can also find our beautiful 2024 Violetta jersey while supplies last. What's the weirdest disc in your bag? Leave a comment down below. And also comment below what weird discs we should explore in the future. For Six Sided Discs, I'm Greg. We'll see you in the next one. Last year, we went to the Disc Golf Pro Tour for the first time and set up our pop-up shop in the vendor area at the LWS Open at Idlewild. This August, we're coming back, and this time we're more prepared. If you're one of the first 100 people to come up to our tent and say hello and show us that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you will receive one of these, our 6-sided discs Velcro patch for free. And I want to say a big shout out and thanks to discgolfpins.com for making these for us. They turned out fantastic. So if you're ever in need of a pin or patch or anything else about disc golf, head over to discgolfpins.com. Not a sponsor. And of course, we'll see you at Idlewild. Now the flight numbers don't matter. Now, we've had some pretty bizarre discs in our videos over the...
No, I did it again.
It's really hard.
I landed 2 feet. What the? There's no way. Are you serious?
It is like a roller angle.
Oh, it hurts.
It's so sticky, you right? First throw with that upside down. Ouch.
All right, the weapon of maximum sharpness. Oh no, you're gonna chop your thumb off.
Be careful, guys. Really commit to it.
What happened? Where'd it go? It was actually pretty good.
If you like this content and want to see more, please consider liking the video, subscribing to our channel, or supporting us on Patreon. Your support makes this content possible.